Welcome to this episode of ISV Talks. I'm Carol Livingston from Dynamics Connections and your host of ISV Talks. And welcome back, Sal. You've been on our podcast before, but I'm excited to have you back today. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be back.
Yeah, so Sal, why don't you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my name's Sal Buonocore. I am with Presales Leader, which is part of the Technology Leader Companies family. And what we do at Technology Leader Companies is we have fractional subscription-based services that can help your Acumatica reseller practice or your ISV solution scale and grow. So we have our bread and butter pre-sales leader that does pre-sales as a service for bars and
Okay.
ISVs. We have a business consulting practice as well that helps with implementations and optimizations. And then I spend a lot of time on the marketing side of stuff. So we just actually, since last time I've been on the podcast with you, we've rebranded and restructured the marketing
Oh,
side of our business, and it's called Full
okay.
Stack Marketing now. I'm helping run that, and we provide marketing services, everything from fractional agency
Wow.
work to little things, whether it's some videos, some blogs, some graphics,
Yeah.
some logos, anything that falls in that
Sure.
big marketing umbrella, we can help with. So that's where I
Okay.
live. So I've been in the Acumatica channel for just over 2 years now and getting a lot of my experience within that with marketing for people within the channel, but also doing some ISV partnerships as well and
Okay.
helping ISVs grow within the channel, connect with Acumatica resellers, help them kind of
Oh.
figure out how to grow and kind of roadmap their solution a little bit. So that's been my exposure is specifically with ISVs and within Acumatica.
Yeah, I know some ISVs that I work with too, mutual clients of ours.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in this together. So we're here today to talk about Acumatica Summit 2026, which just happened in the month of January. Do you want to tell us the location and dates?
Yeah, at least as of the recording of this, it was just last week, which it feels it wasn't that long ago. So that was January 25th to 28th, and we were out in Seattle, Washington for the first time, which was a lot
Mhm.
of fun. Previously, it's been in Vegas for I don't even it's been a long time that we've been in Vegas for the Acumatica
We're
Summit.
at six
So
years, 6 years there. So
I think all of us were ready for a switch, for a change
yeah,
there.
I agree.
And Seattle was wonderful. I gave too much dirt to Seattle leading up to it because I was kind of, who wants to go to Seattle in January? That sounds cold and wet, gross. Who wants to
Hmm.
go to Seattle? But well, I'm sure we're going to hit it in a second. But Seattle was wonderful compared to the rest of the country
Yeah.
while we're out there. Being an East Coaster myself, I was beyond happy to be out in Seattle while everyone back home on
Right?
the East was getting hit
It
with
was
snow.
good. Yeah, we actually had the best weather going on in the whole country across the nation. Yeah. And,
Seattle
well,
was great.
and you got to explore downtown and the waterfront a little bit, hopefully.
I did, yeah. So it was my first time out in Seattle, which was super
Okay.
cool. And nothing against Vegas, but casino life isn't really where I spend a lot of my free time. So what I loved about
Same.
Seattle was in the free time I had out at Summit was getting to explore the public market, getting to see all the different coffee shops and bakeries that were around. I don't want to necessarily call myself a foodie, but I enjoy food anytime I can find it. And just getting to check out
Yeah.
all these cool restaurants and such. I loved it. Seattle was
Yeah.
great. If you're a sports person, the Seattle Seahawks played in the NFC Championship game on Sunday when we were out there. So getting to be in the city with that excitement and hype and getting to see all those
Right.
Seahawks jerseys around that day was really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, Seattle ended up being a really cool place as far as what the city
Yep.
has to offer. The weather was beautiful the whole time we were out there.
I was also saying I grew up in Seattle, so I'm like, okay, bring your rain jacket because it'll certainly be gray and it'll certainly be wet. So we lucked out. We had a little sunshine, and on the Seahawks, they won the championship there in Seattle at the Lumen Stadium, and I rode the Amtrak train because I live in the
Okay.
Northwest with a whole bunch of people wearing jerseys and crazy hats and all kinds of things. So the Northwest was really behind that. So you're right. There was a lot of excitement downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
So
cool. And even the convention center, first time we were in the
yeah,
Seattle Convention Center, new building for us. And it was beautiful. Phenomenal space, a lot of space. I'm sure
yeah.
some of that attendance being a little bit lower because of some weather difficulties, but beautiful space,
Hmm.
beautiful venue. I loved walking into the main keynote center and having that whole wall of glass open right when you come in and the beautiful view of the city
Right?
you're able to
It
catch with
was a
that.
glass wall on one side, yeah. And that's where the stairs and escalators went up to the
Hmm.
floors. And so,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, so the Seattle Convention Center has been there a long time. It hosts trade shows, corporate events. They built this separate annex. So it's about a block
Hmm.
away from the original Seattle Convention Center. This building's called the Summit, which actually fit well with the Summit. And it was a new venue in general. A lot of people haven't been there for events yet. So we got to
Yeah.
experience, yeah, it was definitely a cool place. And the whole Northwest theme, the totem
Mhm.
pole outside, the wood, yeah, it was really cool. What do you think the actual attendance or expected versus actual ended up being? Do you have any
Yeah,
idea?
that's a good thought. The number I heard getting thrown around while I was there about the original expected attendance was in the 6,000 range, which is
Oh,
huge.
wow.
I don't think
Yeah.
we were close to that.
Yeah.
I think we were closer to maybe that three, somewhere between two and three
Agree.
thousand
Yeah.
people there. So with that, obviously, people can't do anything to adjust the weather when you get snowed in and flights get canceled and such. So it happens. But
Right.
I think that created a really cool atmosphere, though. It kind of made the convention center feel bigger than it needed to. There's a lot of extra space there. And then, there's tons of room that we could grow into at the Summit
Yeah.
Convention Center. But I think what made it really cool was because there was less people there that we were able to have more richer, deeper conversations with the people we were able to talk to. So, comparing this
Yeah.
year in Seattle to last year in Vegas, I felt it was quick, short conversations I was able to have with people, even if it was someone at a booth that I was talking to
Yeah.
and it felt I had to keep going and get to the next one because someone else was behind me waiting to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But this year, I didn't feel rushed with the conversations I was
Yeah.
just able to have. It was more casual and relaxed kind of atmosphere, and just being able to catch up and get to know people that way, I felt was
Yeah.
more productive and more relational. So while
Good.
I'm bummed a lot of people weren't able to make it out, it was kind of a good thing in disguise, at
Yeah.
least for my part, getting to
Yeah.
have a lot of conversation with a lot of great people.
Yeah, a lot of people that did attend got there a little bit early, had this hint that, hey, you might want to get an earlier flight and get there a little earlier.
Mhm.
And then some people still struggled and got there late. I think I still was meeting people, I think it was Tuesday, maybe Tuesday afternoon that had just got there. I was,
Yeah.
oh no, that's too bad. But
Yeah, there
anyway,
was one of the ISVs that I felt so bad for that I got to connect with. There was one of the ISVs who had a booth. There was just one guy there by himself the whole time, and he was so lonely. And I was catching up with him and talking, and the company actually was going to send out two or three people to be at the booth, but
oh,
the other two guys got snowed in and weren't able to make it out, and they didn't have anyone else last second to come fill in. So the poor dude had to run the booth all by himself the whole show, and I was like, oh man, I feel so bad for you.
all of those booths were like that. I know I talked to another booth where she was kind of the same thing. But people ended up showing up, but yeah, some people had to be the whole team. What do you think? Well, I guess it's kind of unfair to say what's the comparison to attendance the prior year, but kind of different venue. I said it felt
Yeah.
bigger, more spread out, so it was hard to gauge. I've had people ask me, "What do you think about attendance?" And well, if I had to guess, it was probably
Mm.
pretty similar, but it's hard to know because it was a new place. And
Yeah, I was thinking on that too, and comparing the win in Vegas to the convention center, I felt this the convention center felt bigger, and I don't know if it was
Mhm.
because it was slightly less attendance than they were expecting that gave that feeling. But with the
Yeah,
win, yes, you have the big ballrooms for the marketplace and for the keynotes, but to get to everything else, it's all through more tight, narrow hallways, and you're twisting and turning.
yeah,
So
that's true.
Vegas felt tighter and more condensed, while Seattle felt some more room and that the convention
Yeah,
center was almost too big for what we needed. But again,
yeah,
weather delays
room
makes
for
it
growth.
hard to, yeah,
Yeah,
room for growth, but weather delays, yeah,
yeah,
makes it hard to kind of judge that.
yeah. In terms of the people that didn't get there or
Mhm.
canceled their registration or whatever, it was about 25 to 30%. So that's a pretty big
Okay.
hit with a conference
No.
this size. We'll get to see next year. But yeah, I mean, I think there was a couple times where everybody kind of came out of the keynotes and we're all trying to get on the escalators, and it was a little crowded then because you use the
Yeah.
escalators primarily to go up and down. Some people use the stairs, but I didn't.
It's okay. I didn't either.
Yeah, well, I was telling my husband, this is a 5-story or 6-story building. It's pretty amazing, right? And then the glass wall, when you go up that escalator, you can kind of see outside, and you get to the top and you're above the rooftops of the nearby
Mhm.
buildings. So pretty
Yeah, but
cool.
that's a lot of steps to walk. So
Yeah.
yeah, the escalator was nice.
Do you have any idea how many sessions there were this year?
I'm honestly not positive. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things from the sessions. So there was a lot of people that I talked to that really enjoyed and learned a lot coming off the sessions. But I don't know. I didn't make it into so we had the marketplace floor, we had the session floor, and then we had the keynote floor. And I didn't get a lot of time in the session floor
The
this
session
year.
floor. Like, well, yeah, I did, and I don't know if you stayed. I stayed through Wednesday. They had more
Mm,
breakout sessions still, and I did attend a few, and they were still pretty full. I went to a session on tariffs, and probably
mm,
85 people. I mean, it was pretty full.
yeah.
So,
The sessions that I was looking at was a lot of good, timely information that for your what you brought up, the tariffs. Yeah, anyone having to do anything with distribution or shipping, that's huge right
oh,
now. There's a lot of AI conversation happening in practical,
mhm,
tangible use. That was kind of the big theme I feel for the conference was how does AI work and actually support and
mhm.
provide real time automation and help there. So
Yeah,
a lot of great breakouts within AI around AI and
okay,
how that works within the system as well.
yeah,
I'm still diving into some Excel functionality pieces that they kind of talked about too, and expanding on some of that announcement
yeah,
stuff they shared within the keynote too.
right. So the overview of the 3 days, then we'll talk about the keynotes because I think there's some more to talk about there.
Yeah.
It started on Saturday, right? There was the hackathon, and
Uh,
how was it kind of the over?
I'm going to leave the hackathon alone because I'm not a developer guy, and those some of my friends who were able to do that said it was great. They crushed it, but they're talking stuff that I don't fully understand. So we'll just leave the hackathon alone. But day one, or we'll call it kind of day one, Sunday. The marketplace opened in the evening. It was great, kind of walking around, catching up with people, and then Monday you had the opening keynote for the official day one, then led into open marketplace, a handful of breakout sessions. Day one also has the awards that happen on day one, which was really cool. A lot of partners that I get to work with won different awards this year to celebrate them and be there for it. Our consulting service was actually up for an award this year. We were one of the finalists for the implementation award. We
Oh,
didn't win, but
congratulations!
we were for a company that's a service of ours that is 2 years old to be just nominated is huge. So
Oh yeah,
we were beyond
that's
excited for
great.
that. But yeah, it was cool to see the awards. Some surprises, some that I saw coming from a mile away because of how amazing that partner ISV is. But the awards ceremony was really cool to be a part of and get to cheer on some friends and partners there. Day
Yeah,
two kind of repeats of that. The keynote on day two is focused around the Acumatica and what new things they're bringing to the products. I noticed this year they consolidated. Previous years they went through every single vertical,
yeah,
and this is what we're bringing and doing. And so I appreciated them consolidating it. So field service and construction
yeah,
shared and presented together. What's the new stuff coming to there? Distribution and manufacturing presented together. So yeah, it was nice to have a consolidated high overview of some of the new
yeah,
functionality that's coming to Acumatica. But then it was cool. It was kind of a call to action then was, hey, we're doing this breakout session later today. If you want to learn more about this
that's
cool new
true.
feature, come learn about it. So
Yeah,
for someone who doesn't always get into the weeds of every detail in every
yeah,
single vertical, it was nice to get the big picture of this is what's happening. And then if you want to learn more, come spend an
yeah,
hour with us at the breakout session, which was super
great,
helpful. So yeah, day two's keynote was great. Some more breakout sessions. The famous party on the evening of day two,
right?
which if I'm going to be honest and confess, I'm not a big party person. So me and one of my coworkers who are sports fanatics, the last 2 years have dipped out and went to the local hockey game those evenings. So I was partaking in some Seattle culture, celebrating the Seattle Kraken. that night, but
Okay,
I
all
heard
right.
the party
Yeah,
was
awesome.
great. But yeah, so that evening was great. Me and the pre-sales leader, tech leader team headed out Wednesday morning, but Wednesday was full of some more sessions in the morning, but then the closing reception at the very
Right.
end, kind of that early afternoon time slot. So kudos to Acumatica. They cram a lot into 2.5 days,
You really
really.
do.
Monday, Tuesday, and half a day
Yeah.
Wednesday. So yeah, it was
So
packed.
it was packed. I did attend the celebration party. They had a whole, it was at the convention center, kind of flipped the
Yeah.
ballroom into a party. It was really cool. They had it, he kind of lit up sort of a ski lodge theme, which actually for the Northwest, we have a lot of skiers and mountains. And so it was really pretty neat. They had that theme and lots of great food. If you're not a seafood person, Seattle might not be your
Uh,
favorite, but they had a lot of, seafood throughout the conference options there. But I thought the food was excellent. And then they had a separate area kind of in that balcony where the ballroom is.
mm,
That balcony was
yeah.
also turned into kind of an area. And I went out there just to find the bathrooms and then I was, oh, there's a whole other area. But they had curling thing where people were doing
That's
curling,
all.
Yeah, they had a little fire pit area where they had these little bubbles and little fire pits in there. It was real cozy and they had hot chocolate and cocoa. See what you missed?
That does sound a little fun.
Yeah.
I specifically wanted to go to the hockey team because my favorite hockey team was in town playing the Seattle Kraken. But with how they performed, the Seattle Kraken rolled over them. So the party would have probably been a better choice for sure.
Yeah, well, how you get in there and they have the music so loud, so it was nice to have an area to kind of go
Mm,
out and sit and talk. It was
yeah.
nice because you had the option, and I get a little bit, okay, I'm trying to talk to somebody and I can't hear them. I'm going, what? What? So got to see some of my friends, and a lot of people did leave that next morning. So
Mm,
you said the marketplace opened pretty much breakfast, both Monday and Tuesday,
yeah,
right? So we had the
they
welcome
did.
reception Sunday, and then which I really that you have a whole day. A lot of
Mm,
conferences they start at noon and you don't get 2 half days and it's always a rush.
yeah,
So I didn't feel rushed. Plenty of time to go visit the booths and go back and
absolutely.
visit with people again or sit down and meet. I saw a lot of people around the edges. They had little meeting
Mm.
tables and the marketplace was cool because they had kind of Northwest themes, little booths. They had a fruit booth and a popcorn
Oh yeah.
booth, and a Starbucks booth and
Yeah, that was cool. They had the Starbucks booth, so famous
yep,
Seattle coffee chain. You had Pike Brewing Company had a little beer tasting booth there, so
yep,
another Seattle.
yeah,
Yep, the fruit they crush it, and it was cool because you had the so if you're looking from above in the middle, you had the ISVs and VARs, the booths that they were doing for the
yeah,
marketplace, and then all around was tables, and the one corner had Starbucks, the Pike Brewing, fruit, all that. But it was cool because it was kind of we come in for breakfast. The food they had there was great the whole time. You grab breakfast, sit around table, get to meet someone you didn't know or catch up with someone you haven't seen in a year. And
great.
then as breakfast ends, you just kind of walk into all the booths and get a check out and learn some new solutions or meet some new people there. And then the bells go off and it's, oh, it's keynote. Cool.
Yeah.
Go out for the keynote and then, yeah, you get to casually go around again or dive into some of the breakout sessions if you wanted to after the keynote. Yeah,
Yeah.
felt, I don't know if this was year one versus year two for me being at Summit, but just felt low key. Maybe I kind of knew what was doing, how the lay of the land she would
Yeah.
operate and work a little bit more. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You're old hat
but
at it now, right? So,
exactly.
yeah. The flow was good in the booth, so that was really good, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of great merch swag options
Oh,
from a lot of the people there.
yeah.
I purposely today wore my Seattle hat that I got from Avid Exchange.
Well, there
I'm
you go.
giving
Cool.
exactly. I'm giving them the swag of the year award in my book. They had three different hat options with four or five different badge
Did
options that
they?
they were
Nice.
stamping on for you as you went through. And so Avid Exchange, kudos to
Cool.
you guys for some awesome swag. Trail's always a favorite swag stop of mine. And they just rebranded over the summer. So new color, new logo. They're one of our partners, and I was giving them a little bit of a hard time after their rebrand of, hey, all my trail merch is all out of date now. I need a bunch of new trail merch. Come on.
Right?
So I was able to pick up some updated trailed socks this year, and that was a good hit. So Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of great swag options from the ISVs out there. So
definitely. Yeah.
kudos to them for the hard work and coming up with those ideas.
Yeah, I think they have fun with that. I don't know. And I'm always on the hunt for something different too. And so
Yeah.
it's always good. Yeah. And then for partners, resellers primarily, of
Mhm.
course, they said they have 500 partners. That was one of the things I noticed on the
Mhm.
keynote. So I think they count ISVs in that number, right? Just
I think
resellers,
they
right?
did.
Partners
Yeah.
is the generic umbrella for everybody that's a partner.
For sure.
So
That's what it seemed to was they were wrapping everyone who touches the Acumatica system a little bit. I'm even sure some service partners probably get wiggled
yeah,
into that number too.
counted everybody. Yeah. That's all right. It was 500, really. People got excited about that. And you mentioned the awards. That was great.
Mhm.
A lot of people were runners up and pretty proud that
Yeah.
they were in the finalist category. So I don't know. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I was super excited for Trail winning ISV Partner of the Year.
That
Being able
was
to see some
cool.
of the
Yeah.
hard work that they were doing over the year was really cool to see that award go to them. WM Synergy, one of Acmatica's top resellers, they had a phenomenal year in the manufacturing vertical. So I was not shocked to see them win Manufacturer of the Year, but also super happy for them to win that. There are a bunch of great people over there at WM Synergy. Lumber getting the ISV Alliance of the Year award. I
Yeah.
thought they were going to win Construction ISV of the Year.
Well, yeah.
That went to Workforce Go, I think, and then to see them win ISV Alliance of the Year was wow. Kudos to Lou and the team over there. They've been
Yeah.
trucking really hard the last couple years, and to see all that effort pay off finally was really cool. Yeah, obviously us getting nominated for the Implementers Award was a big deal for us. So I was proud to be a part of the list of the other consultants that and the consulting firms that were nominated for that as well. I'm totally drawing blank on who won that, but yeah, great group of consulting firms to just be
Yeah.
named with was exciting. So yeah, the awards piece was pretty
Totally.
cool. And as I said, we work with a handful of resellers. We work with a handful of ISVs. So to have a lot of the people we work with get not just nominated but actually win some of these awards is really special. And it was
Yeah.
cool to see some of the people who made the President's Club
Right.
this year and get to celebrate them. Portello had a huge year, getting Rookie Partner of the Year and also making President's Club in the
Yeah.
same year. So yeah, lot of cool stuff to celebrate from these ISVs and partners from 2025 that were great to just experience and see happen.
Yeah, definitely. I know also kind of a big announcement was the Ascent program. So
Yeah.
did you find out any more information about that or?
Yeah, so we've been able to have a pretty cool relationship over the last year with Acumatica. So we knew that was coming a little bit, but
Yeah.
to actually get the date
Oh,
on it, to actually get kind of what they're expecting and their hope and their vision for it was actually that was kind of the first time we got to hear it, and that was really cool to hear that. Excited that it's going to be in Colorado. The Gaylord Resort there is phenomenal. I'm a little bummed because I'm trying to decide, do I go to Ascent or do I do my family vacation? I think my family will appreciate it if I keep the vacation on the books where it is. So a little bit
yeah,
bummed that I'm
that's
probably not going to be able to make it this year
oh,
for the
shoot.
first
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm excited to the training piece is really cool. So if I had to encapsulate what this summit looked, I felt there was a lot of end users, Acumatica end users that were at Summit this year. And I feel like that number keeps growing and growing and growing. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of end users and a lot of prospective end users, people who haven't
Yes.
made the switch to Acumatica yet that
Uh-huh.
were there. So there's a huge end user base at Summit. So a lot of its product features trying to sell Acumatica and how can ISVs help sell Acumatica to a lot of these people and retain people within Acumatica. So to be able to have something sent in August of this year will be, I think, super neat and
Yeah.
really exciting to get some of that
Yeah.
hands-on training for the partners, for the ISV, and just dive into some of the more the nitty-gritty stuff that an end user doesn't necessarily care about. Not knocking the end user as much, but just some of the stuff that makes the software happen that they get to use. They don't need to know or want to know what's all that back end look. So to getting some of
Great.
that nitty gritty
Yeah.
stuff, I think is going to be huge. So yeah, bummed I'm going to miss it this year probably, but
Yeah.
yeah, happy that
And the
Acumatica is
dates
offering it.
and the dates for this first event is when?
It's August 17th through the 20th.
Okay.
Yep,
Uh-huh.
yep. So
Okay.
not far away. August feels it's far
It's
away right
not
now.
that
It's
way, yeah.
not.
Yeah, what's kind of the process to attend that?
If you Google Acumatica set, one of the first option there that's going to pop up is their landing page for it, and you can apply and register there. It's open now through the end of February is registration
Okay.
because then it's also an approval process. So it's not just registering you're in because there's a limited number. I think they're capping at 800, 850 people
Yeah.
for this first one, and they're approving people who register. So I would get your registration in as soon as possible so you have the
Great.
best chance of getting
Yeah.
approved. You're going to be asked to have who your Acumatica sponsor is. So be ready to have that as you go in. But yeah, so
Okay.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's kind of this no frills training hands on experience for the
Hmm.
partners and ISVs is what's going to make it
Yeah.
so there's some sponsorship opportunities in there for ISVs and the partners.
So marketplace, right? This will
Yep.
just
So
be,
there'll be some a little bit of sponsorship opportunity, but just the chance to gather and
yeah,
dive into the thing that we
product.
all love, get to
Yeah.
do and do together is going to be really
Yeah.
exciting and unique. That
Yeah.
outside of some one-off stuff that maybe a partner's put on or an ISV's put on, it's going to be exciting to actually have
Yeah.
something Acumatica backed this. So I'm all
Yeah.
in. Outside of not missing my family vacation this year, I'm all in for this idea and hope that
Yeah.
this is the first of many. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds they have plans. This is kind of the first event, kind of an in-person hands-on workshop. You said kind of workshop
Hmm.
style. So it's not going to have the big party and ice
Yeah.
sculptures or whatnot. It's really meant to be, let's bring your laptop, let's sit down and work
Mhm.
on learning a certain skill and it's really any roles. I saw they had marketing, sales, developer,
Yeah.
implementers, founders. So it's really covering kind of every role and then also industry too. So they're trying to figure
Hmm.
out, well, maybe they kind of focus on the manufacturing for
Yeah.
certain training and
Yeah.
application process so they can gather insight
Hmm.
into who would be attending so they can make sure they got the right kind of content. I also heard that it's going to be a train the trainer style, so you could take that
Hmm.
material back and train your
Yeah.
team. So maybe don't have everybody enroll this first time. Maybe send kind of your key people. And I also heard the cost wasn't going to be very much. They're trying to again
Mm.
keep it no frills, probably 1,000. I mean, they're not making money on this, so $1,000 or
Mm.
less. There's
Damn.
travel costs and everything. Yeah. And I know one of the reactions I had, I went to the partner networking meeting on Wednesday, and some of the partners were giving them feedback. Hey, you kind of surprised us. We already have our budgets. You
Yeah.
kind of you're saying you're opening up the application process to everyone. We kind of to work with our team to figure out who should attend and then have
Mm.
them apply. So anyway, it was good
Yeah.
feedback. First time they're doing this, so they asked for grace, which
Absolutely.
I think is
Yeah.
fair. Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's great because so our bread and butter service that we work with partners with is fractional solution engineers. So we come and help with the discovery demo process and run
Right.
a sales opportunity all the way through closing. So we understand Acumatica pretty in depth on all the verticals, and then have a huge breadth of understanding of what ISVs are out there. So even outside of the sales process, we have customer success managers, we have sales reps emailing our SCs that we work with, asking, "Hey, I'm trying to figure this out for my customer, and
Yeah.
what's out there for this? How do I do this?" And just being able to have an opportunity where
Right.
partners can send people to get trained to understand Acumatica better and deeper
Yeah.
is because especially
Yeah.
if you're at a bigger partner, there's only so much you can train in house on that while also keeping the regular day-to-day systems going and moving. So even though
Yeah.
there's some hiccups as any first-time program and event happens,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be really well received and well received once we figure those out and get the timing of those announcements that are
Yeah.
going and such. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of first in-person event, but they'll have some future events, virtual,
Yeah.
maybe hybrid in the future. So anyway, kind of
Mhm.
keep your eye out as they roll that out. But yeah, this first, and I thought you said the Acumatica Summit is now really becoming a user conference for the
Yeah.
users, which is probably true. They kind of made it for everybody, but it's hard to address all the needs, and partners and ISVs are focused on
Yeah.
customers and helping customers during that event. So it's nice that they have now a partner focused event.
Yeah.
So
And not knocking the summit because it is taking more that end user approach and
yeah,
direction with the ISVs and the partners that come because there's an end user focus. Depending on what breakout sessions you go to, feels more surface level to a partner who has a deeper understanding of Acumatica.
yeah,
So
right.
that is maybe the one, if you want to call it a negative, that I heard from the summit a week ago was, hey, I love the topic that was going to be shared, but I don't feel we really got into it to the level that
Yep.
I wanted to. And
Yeah.
so you can't you can't do one thing for everyone. That's just impossible. So
Mm,
with that summit taking that end user focus, yeah, makes the Ascent in August going to be much more build up some of the excitement for the Ascent a little bit more and have it be more
like give
valuable to the partners.
skilling, yeah, make it a priority of skill, give more skills to the different levels of consultants and developers. And on the sales side, I know I heard a partner saying, hey, we need more how to sell AI first, right? It usually
Mm.
comes on afterthought. We're trying to sell the
Yeah.
ERP, and then the question is, well, what are you doing with AI? So you help us
Yeah.
sell that. So that was good feedback because now that they're rolling it into the product and have kind of a definitive rollout plan, helping the partners understand so they can articulate that for customers, I think is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Which, yeah, was kind of the big theme of Summit this year.
Yeah,
It,
AI first.
yeah, AI first, and Acumatic instances can be data, 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 data. But going from just a record of data to this idea of how can we understand it and process it even better, and how can we make the data something usable for us? And there was so many features.
Yeah,
Being a marketing sales guy, but probably my favorite feature they talked about with AI in the one keynote was kind of within the CRM activity tracker where you could open up the tab and be like, oh, I have 10 months worth of emails. What's the last thing that's happened? What do I need to know to be able to
yeah.
respond to this
Summarize
request?
this
And
for me, right? Well, yeah, yeah,
exactly. And just have that quick summary, refresh your mind of
yeah,
it. Not it's not replacing your brain of how to respond and handle the situation,
yeah.
but it's help giving you that
Just a
information to make a
mhm,
knowledgeable response to whatever the request is or what needs to happen with
sure.
what's being asked.
Yeah,
So we were taking bets. Our team was during each keynote of, hey, who's what over under 20 and a half uses of the word AI. Who's got it?
at
Because that's the
least,
hot button
at least.
topic. But
Yeah.
yeah, AI is here to stay, and it looks it's doing some pretty cool and helpful things within Acumatica now.
Yeah, they had kind of a phased approach. Now it's
Mm,
assisting and guiding, and then it'll be still human in the loop, kind of, but doing more automation, and then
yeah.
eventually get to autonomous, right? Where it's kind of doing some functions independent of a human. So
Mm,
we'll see what that all really means. I what you said about the moving from system of record, and I said this a few times, to system of intelligence, right?
yeah.
That was pretty cool. Well, what about other events? I know that you mentioned all the kind of the main sponsored by
Yeah.
Acumatica events, but what else was happening around the
Oh,
summit?
I think yeah, I think that's some of the fun of Summit is everyone throws some kind of event. Granted, some of the partners, some of the resellers throw their own event for their clients who are out or ISVs that they are
Great.
super close
Yeah.
with. So there's some closed events that are special invite, but there's a lot that are open invite as well. So it was fun. This year on Sunday, the pre-sales leader team threw an event at a sports simulator sports bar. That was really cool. We got to work with, and it was sponsored by some great ISVs, Paystand, Great Links, Trail, Kenzie helped sponsor Trabia Software. I think that was everyone. If I missed someone, I apologize. But it was for me that was a really fun way to kick off Summit before everything hit, before just the rushing in conversation after conversation, just to have a
Yeah.
chance to hang out, have some fun. but also start some of those conversations with some of the
Right.
partners and ISVs that you wanted to talk to before everyone gets overwhelmed with everything. And yeah, that was a blast. Five Iron Golf was a phenomenal venue for that, and just thankful for the ISVs that helped put that on with us. Yeah, Monday there's a handful of events in the evening. I bounced around between a couple of them. Stack is an estimation takeoff solution within Acumatica for construction
Mhm.
companies. They threw co-sponsored happy hour with Felixo. If you don't know Felixo, they're phenomenal. One of the best Excel push-pull solutions out there. They threw a happy hour at the observatory, which was a super
Oh,
cool speakeasy feel bar that was on the 35th, 36th floor, where they had a deck all around the top that you could go out and look and get this
wow.
beautiful view of the city all lit up that
Yeah.
evening.
And the Puget
Um,
Sound. Yeah. Wow.
it was a beautiful venue. Food and drinks were great. The conversations were even better. Walked from there down to the aquarium that night. Avalara and Bill.com co-sponsored event at the aquarium with
Right.
dinner, drinks. That was a really cool setting. I didn't get to walk around, but they basically rented out the aquarium
Like
for an
aquarium,
event.
right?
So you had these
Yeah.
massive fish tanks. It was super cool. I love that. Had some great conversations with some partners and ISVs there. That same night, I know there's at least three other partner events that were
Right.
happening as well. Yes, learning some of the solutions and some of the partners out there at these special events, but it's cool because you get to actually get to meet and know the people
Yeah.
personally. And it's
Yeah.
what how I've kind of looked at those events was cool. I'm going to go hang out and build up a relationship with the people at Stack and get to know them better as people. And then we'll schedule some business conversation for
Sure.
next week when we're back
Yeah.
home and then
That
actually get to
happens.
talk about partnerships and such.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of great events. The ones that stood out for me was outside of our own event at the sports simulator was the Avalara Bill Aquarium, just because the venue was amazing. And then Stack and Felixo because of that speakeasy, really cool rustic bar kind of
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. You got to go some really highlight events. Oh yeah. A lot of
Mhm.
the partners and ISVs sponsor these little events around the town. So,
Did
well,
you have a favorite one?
I think the one that you hosted was my favorite. Yeah, the
I was going to say I will not
simulator.
be offended if ours does
No,
not win your favorite,
no,
but
actually, yeah, I really liked the venue. The probably the favorite thing, and to be honest, is that we could watch the football game because the sports
I,
bar and the Seahawks were
exactly.
playing.
So that was our thought process too. It was the
Yeah,
negative of it not being in Vegas is Vegas has a bar on every corner, every casino. So
yeah,
I remember everyone would gather together at these different bars and watch the NFC and AFC championship games on Sunday
yeah.
because
Right,
Summit always falls on that weekend.
right.
So that's going to be a little bit more harder to do in Seattle. So we'll put something together during the NFC Championship game, hang out and watch it, have some conversation. If you don't want to watch the game, there's sports simulators. If you don't want to do that either, there's going to be a lot of great people to get to know and hang out with. Yeah, there was even a
Uh,
lot of people that I didn't know at our party that I got to meet for the first
it
time.
was
Excited
just,
to dive into those
yeah,
relationships more over the new year here.
yeah, yeah. It was a great way to kick off the whole event. So, and the other events were great too, but by the third day, I was kind of, my feet were tired. I was tired. So,
There's
kind
only
of,
so many times you can have the same conversation over the same
right?
drink. So
Exactly. So it's kind of nice to have an activity. That was really great. What do you think is your main takeaway from this year's summit?
I was looking at this and actually, because I don't want to misquote them, PSI is a family service firm that's doing phenomenal work. They won Customer of the Year this
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And she had this amazing quote. Sorry, I'm pulling it up real quick because I it was so beautiful and it hit exactly kind of what our company is and what we do and how we approach technology. She said in her keynote that technology should never overshadow the mission. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's beautiful because that's exactly how we try to do business and do
Yeah.
life. And I kind of even got that sense with even the day one keynote as well. Technology never should overshadow the people. And
Yeah.
John Case said it over and over where what we do is because of the things that you're asking for and that you're trying to do with the software. Amazing takeaway for me is technology should never overshadow mission. So that's how we live, that's how we do business. And yeah, that beyond any tech announcement, tech release, that was thing number one for me.
Yeah, it should support the mission. I love that too. That was really great. Customer quote and customer that won an impact award, right? That was
Yeah.
really great.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next year, tell us where it's going to be and the dates and
Yeah, we're
the
coming back to Seattle again. And
surprise.
now that I've done it once, I'm not
Yeah.
as pessimistic
Yeah.
about that. I'm actually kind of excited to come back and do Seattle
Yeah.
again and hit up some of
Okay.
the bakeries and restaurants I didn't get to hit. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see. Hopefully, weather's good for next year in 2027, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have a full convention center this year. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. That's actually going to be at the end of January, the 24th through the 27th next year. So I'm sure Acumatica is
Yeah.
going to hit us up as soon as registration and opportunities for sponsorship are available for that. But I'm excited for it. I'm
Yeah.
excited for round two in Seattle.
Yeah. Like you said, now people who've been there have a little idea what to expect. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to have
Hmm.
everybody return to the Pacific Northwest. I always get comments from people this last week on, hey, I had to travel from the East Coast and it was such a long day of travel, but hopefully it was worthwhile that you got
It
there,
was it
got
was long,
excited.
but it
Yeah.
was worth it. So I'm located in Pennsylvania. I flew out on
Okay.
Saturday before the snow hit the East Coast, so I didn't have any travel issues. But Sunday morning, I woke up to a text being 3 hours behind my wife's
Yeah.
time. Woke up from a text with a picture that had my car and the level of snow along the side of it. And I got text about every hour with updates of where it was.
Oh
And
no.
I am so glad to
Oh,
be out here. Saturday and Sunday was upper 40s and sun in Seattle. It was just,
yeah.
this is beautiful.
Beautiful
I haven't seen
drive.
sun in Pennsylvania in a long time. So yeah,
Right.
Seattle is beautiful. The weather was great. I'm excited to come out again and have another great summit out there.
Well, thank you, Sal, for joining me today on this episode of ISV Talks. So kind of do a recap. That was fun on the Acumatica Summit
Yeah.
2026. If you want to reach out to Sal or their team, Sal, you want to go over your contact information?
Absolutely. Yeah, Carol, thanks for the opportunity to come on again. If you would want to reach out to me, hear about some of our marketing services, hear about how we work with ISVs and partner with them in our Alliance program, you can reach out to me. My email is sal.buonocore, which is spelled SAL.BUONOCORE at techleaderco.com, techleaderco.com. And or you could check out our website, techleaderco.com. So would love to hear about what you guys are doing in the marketing world right now to promote your services and solutions. Also, if you're an ISV, would love to hear how you are trying to grow and engage in the channel as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Sal, and I appreciate the conversation again. And folks, I'll see you on the next episode of ISV Talks. Bye, friends.